Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. We cover everything Major League, from spring training to the World Series. We've got your favorite club covered, from New York to Boston to LA. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast.
What is up? Welcome to the GSMC Baseball Podcast. Today, on a Thursday, as I was on assignment yesterday, kind of like last week, but last week we had a holiday yesterday on assignment. So we're back today with the Baseball Podcast, going over the games from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday now, as we kind of maybe do, well, actually we do 3 games on Monday, so might as well do 2 or 3 games, 3 days of games, just like we do it on Mondays. We'll do that today throughout these first 2 segments, and in the third segment, we're going to talk about the All-Star Game final vote. It was down to the wire. We'll reveal the winners if you guys don't know who they are already. We'll reveal them in the third segment, and then we'll also give some talk on the AL East and the Chicago Cubs. See if they can eventually take over the AL Central lead, or the Brewers going to hold them off the whole second half of the season. We don't know. They're going to get hot. We'll find out. Have been playing better of late. Truth there. All right, let's go right into the games. No wasting any time here, as we'll start on Monday in San Francisco. Actually, speaking of the Cubs, the Giants were actually able to beat the Cubs on Monday in walk-off fashion. Pablo Sandoval got the job done for the Giants in the bottom of the 11th inning with the walk-off single. They won 2-1. The winning pitcher in that game actually was Ty Block in relief, as he went 1 inning. He pitched the top of the 11th inning perfectly, and then obviously was set up the next inning to win the game for the Giants. In that one, I don't think any home runs in this one, as the Cubs scored their run. All the runs were scored kind of in a weird way. So the Giants scored their first run on a very interesting play. It was a play where it was a pickoff throw, basically. It was a very simple pickoff throw to first base, got past Anthony Rizzo, goes all the way down the right field line. Javier Baez goes to chase after it, and Alan Hansen, if you guys don't know who Alan Hansen is on the Giants, go look him up, because he's very good, and he's also very fast, and he kind of just scoots around to third base very easily, kind of like, jogging into third base, but his jog is a pretty fast jog, and then he looks up and sees Javier Baez is kind of dogging it to the ball down the right field line. All of a sudden, turns the afterburners on and he scores from first base on a wild pickoff throw. He scored from first base, which, I've listened to the interviews of the players. Brandon Belt came on the radio yesterday, and he's like, I've never seen anything like that. Or maybe it was Tuesday. I've never seen anything like that. I've seen the announcers had never seen anything like that with the guy. You can look at, if you watch the highlight, you could see. He also dropped to the ball. He picked it up and dropped it, and had to pick it up and throw it again. He was very, very doggy, nonchalant. Javier Baez was the all-star second baseman. He's still obviously a very good player, but didn't think that a guy was going to try and run on him to score from first base. But sure enough, Alan Hansen did, and he literally flew past Wilson Contreras to get that tag, or get to pass the tag to get his hand on the plate there. A pretty cool slide. Definitely a highlight that's worthwhile watching for sure. And the Cubs, they just scored their run on a very simple double play ball that got beat out by Aston Russell, and a run scored on that. So that was really the only way before the Sandoval base hit to win the game for the Giants in that one. All right, then in Baltimore, the Orioles beat the Yankees actually 5-4. They got a big 3-run homer from Danny Valencia in this one. That was in the bottom of the 6th inning to take the lead 5-4, as they were trailing, as CC Sabathia was pitching pretty well, but then obviously giving up the run in that one as he gets the loss. Now 6-4 on the season. That was actually game 1 of a doubleheader. The Yankees came back and won the second game 10-2 in convincing fashion. Sessa gets the win in this one, as he pitched very well. Went 6 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts for him. In this one, Brett Gardner hit his 7th home run of the year. Austin Romine, his 5th of the season for the Yankees. Tim Beckham for the Orioles hit his 2nd of the season. In that first game, actually, didn't give you the home runs for the first game. And that one, Stanton hit his 22nd. And for the Orioles, Mark Trumbo, his 12th. And that Valencia home run was his 9th of the season for him. Over to New York, the Mets and the Phillies also played a doubleheader on Monday as the Mets were able to win the first game in walk-off fashion. Wilmer Flores, the walk-off homer there in the bottom of the 10th inning to get the win in the day game. The nightcap was won by the Phillies. Wilmer Flores, that was his 8th of the year. Maikel Franco also hit his 11th home run of the season for Philadelphia. Asdrubal Cabrera added his 16th of the season for the Mets in that win for New York. And then game 2 was the Phillies and the Mets again. Aaron Nola gets his 12th win of the season. He's the first to 12 wins in the National League, as he has really made himself. I mean, he's not just the ace of the Phillies. He's the ace of the National League, really. Right now, one of the best pitchers in the league, as he'll be surely featured in that All-Star game, maybe even getting the nod to start it on next Tuesday in DC. I would be hard pressed not to see Max Scherzer start the game at his home ballpark, but you never know. Also have to figure out how the rotations all stay out, and we'll see who's pitching on Sunday and can't pitch on Tuesday. So also that'll get figured out there. But Nola, he was absolutely untouchable. 7 shutout innings, only 1 hit, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts for him, as he really led the way there to get the win for his team, as there were no homers in this one. The Phillies win 3-1. In Pittsburgh, the Pirates beat the Nationals 6-3 behind an Ivan Nova start, as he gets his 5th win of the season, as he went 5 2/3 innings, 3 runs allowed, 8 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Did give up a couple homers in that one, but it was all in the win. And for the Nationals, the home runs were from Juan Soto. He's Rookie of the Year looking like right now. That was his 9th of the season, and Bryce Harper hit his 22nd. Bryce Harper voted in to be the National League outfielder at home, or one of them. And then for the Pirates, they actually did not hit a homer, but got a triple and a bunch of doubles as well in this game. Oh, they did get one. It was hiding in there. Gregory Polanco hit his 13th of the season, a 2-run shot for the Pirates. I was figuring them, they got to hit 1 home run. In Cleveland, the Indians can't beat the Reds. The Reds get the win on Monday, 7-5. Anthony DeSclafani gets the win for Cincinnati. His 4-1 now, as he got the win. 7 innings, 1 run allowed, 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, a homer allowed. The Indians tried to come back against the Cincinnati bullpen with 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning, but that was all they could muster, and they were not able to win to get more. As it was 7-1 going to the 9th inning. They score 4 off the bullpen, but DeSclafani was excellent in this one. Gets the win, definitely earned it there, as Clevenger was roughed out for 5 runs over 6 innings pitched. Home runs in this game for the Indians: Yonder Alonso, his 13th of the season; Jason Kipnis, his 8th of the year for the Reds; Joey Votto hit his 9th; and Scott Schiebler, his 12th of the season for Cincinnati. In Tampa Bay, the Rays get a walk-off win at home against the Tigers, as they scored a run in the bottom of the 10th inning to win that one 10-9. The Tigers were up in this game 5-0 at one point, and actually they scored 5 runs in the first inning against Francisco Liriano, as or the Rays were up 5-0 in this game, as they scored 5 runs in the first inning. There, switch my scores there, but yeah, Liriano, he pitches for the Tigers. That's right. Yeah, so the Rays scored 5 runs in the first inning, and the Tigers marched their way all the way back throughout the middle innings there, before Wilson Ramos hit his 13th home run of the season for the Rays to extend that lead back out. And then the Tigers would not go away. They tied it up in the 7th inning with a Jose Iglesias double after they actually scored a bunch of runs. They scored, they scored 4 runs in the 7th inning to tie the game, before the Rays scored 2 in the bottom half of the 7th, and the Tigers scored 2 more in the top half of the 8th. So they traded some runs there after the game was tied. It got retied, and then of course, went to extra innings, and in the bottom of the 9th inning, Daniel Robinson singled up the middle to score Kevin Kiermaier and win that one for the Rays. Very nicely done there. In another walk-off victory here in Miami, the Marlins win 4-3 over the Brewers in extra innings. That one went 10 as they get the walk-off there in the bottom half of that 10th inning on a Brian Holiday single to win that game there, as they got a home run as well from Brian Anderson, his 7th. Stalin Castro, his 7th as well in this one. Jesus Aguilar hit his 23rd of the season for the Brewers. He's ahead well, actually, we don't know. He's part of the final vote. We're going to reveal that in the third segment as we go along here. I know it's already out there. If you guys already know about it, then you're ahead of the game. I know it's already out there, but we're waiting till the third segment when we talk about it here. I don't want to spill the beans. But, that's the win for the Marlins as they get the walk-off victory against the first-place Brewers. In Boston, the Red Sox beat the Rangers 5-0. As Eduardo Rodriguez gets the win, his 11-3 now for the Red Sox. He pitched very nicely for them as he goes 5 2/3 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts for the Boston left-hander. The Red Sox got a home run from Steve Pearce, his 5th, and JD Martinez, his 28th of the season for Boston in their 5-0 win against the Rangers. In Minnesota, the Twins win 3-1 over the Royals. Jose Barrios gets his 9th win of the season as he was excellent in this one as he went 7 innings, 1 run allowed, 6 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts for the talented right-hander there up in Minnesota. No homers in this game as the score runs were at a premium there. 3-1 the victory. A's beat the Astros. They shut out the Astros. The A's have been playing really good baseball. The Astros also have, obviously, but rarely get shut out, especially at home. But the A's do achieve that goal or climb that mountain, whatever analogy you want to make. Frankie Montas gets the win. He went 6 shutout innings, 3 hits allowed, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Trevino and then Trinan were the rest of the pitchers there for the A's as they continue that shutout. For the home runs, Stephen Piscotty hit his 10th of the season for Oakland in that one. They get the win 2-0. In San Diego, the final game of Monday was the Dodgers and the Padres. In San Diego, the Dodgers win 8-2. Get Kershaw just his third win of the season. Kershaw went 6 shutout innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Excellent from him as he's still working his way back, maybe kind of back all the way now from that back injury that he got sent into the DL twice already this season. And then home runs in this one, Will Myers, he's on a tear right now. He's had, I think 6 homers in 4 games. That was his 7th on Monday. And then for the Dodgers, they did not hit a homer, just a bunch of doubles in this one to score their runs as they had a big 5-run second inning to really blow that one open. All right, and then quickly we'll go over the first couple games on Tuesday before we go to the first break here. The Cubs beat the Giants 2-1. Jose Quintana was excellent. So was Derek Holland. He's a tough luck loser as he went 6 1/3 innings, 1 run, 5 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts. So very good night, very nice day for Holland, but he gets the loss as the Giants were not really able to do anything against Quintana as they continue to struggle against left-handed pitching. Quintana went 6 shutout innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts for him. The bullpen was excellent in their outing, a perfect 3 innings of work there for the Cubs bullpen as they get the win there. No home runs in this game as it was just a 2-1 victory for Chicago. And then on Tuesday, the Orioles beat the Yankees again, 6-5 this time, in a walk-off fashion as they scored a run in the bottom of the 9th inning to win this one. As the Yankees, at least they salvaged the game in the doubleheader. But I mean, imagine if they've got swept in the doubleheader and then lose the third game of the series. I mean, crazy. But I mean, they did that. They did lose the third game. I mean, now Machado did have 2 home runs in this one. He hit his 22nd and 23rd off of one of them off Tanaka. I mean, Tanaka, he's got it. He only went 4 1/3. Only lasted 4 1/3 innings, 3 runs allowed over on 6 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, a homer. That's your third starter in the playoffs, or fourth starter if you put CC as your third starter, or what? Sonny Gray? I'm sorry, the Yankees rotation. I know the Giants have been talking to them about maybe trading for Jeff Samardzija. We'll see if that happens by the 31st, but they need some help. They need some help big time when it comes to coming to their rotation. I think this might come and bite him in the butt by the time it comes around the playoff time because there are 4 very, very good. Well, 3 Mariners are there too, I would say, but 3 very, very, very good offensive teams that also have pitching. The American League is stacked. The Indians are honestly very good. I don't know why they don't. They're finally starting to get hot now. We'll talk about them in probably the third segment as well, but they're good. All right, we'll come back in just a moment and do the rest of the games from Tuesday and then Wednesday as well in the second half in the second segment today. So everybody stay tuned and we'll be right back for that. So hold on.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
All right, welcome back, GSMC Baseball Podcast. As we're going to go over the rest of the games from Tuesday and Wednesday really quickly here. As we're going to do 2 days of games in one segment. I know I took the whole segment to do the games from Monday, so we're going to go fast than normal. All right, from Pittsburgh, the Washington Nationals beat the Pirates as they got a good start. In this one from Jeremy Hellickson, actually 5 shutout innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, a home run from Anthony Rendon as his 13th of the year went over the wall, 2-run shot to give the Nationals a bigger lead, and that's how they won, 5-1. In Cleveland, the Indians drop another one to the Reds. The Reds are honestly playing really good baseball. The Reds are playing darn good baseball right now, as they're still 10 games under 500, but they were 20 games over 500 at one point, as they are playing really well right now. In this one, the Reds did score 7 runs in the 9th inning to win this game, mind you. They won 7-4. They were down 4-0 in the 9th inning. They scored 7 times with 2 outs, mind you, again. So in home runs in this one, Francisco Lindor hit his 24th of the season. Jose Ramirez his 25th of the year for the Reds. I don't think they didn't hit a homer in that 9th inning, but they got a big double from Joey Votto. They got a big double from Adam Duvall. Basically, it was 4 hits to score the 7 runs, and a few, obviously, getting people on base is a key too, but 4 hits were the run-scoring plays in that 9th inning to win the game there for the Reds. As far as the starter for the Indians, it was Trevor Bauer, who was very, very good. Tough luck, no decision there for him, as he must have been a little heated about the bullpen. Cody Allen not pitching that well, as he was charged for 6 of the 7 runs. But Trevor Bauer went 8 shutout, 3 hits, 4 walks, 12 strikeouts in that one. He gets a no decision. Rays beat the Tigers 5-2 in Tampa Bay. They scored 5 runs in the bottom half of the 3rd inning to take the lead, and they would hold on and win that one by that score. They got a home run from the All-Star Wilson Ramos, his 14th of the year, a 3-run shot. The Tigers did not have a homer in this game, as the Rays get the win in that one. In Miami, the Brewers beat the Marlins 8-4. Ulysses Chassin gets his 8th win of the season. The Brewers scored 4 runs in the 2nd inning to kind of extend their lead out, and they were able to hold on throughout the game. In this one, they got a home run from Travis Shaw, his 16th of the season. That was the only homer of that game. Chassin went 5 2/3, give up 4 runs, 7 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts for him. In New York, the Phillies and the Mets played again. The Phillies won this one 7-3, and they got a win from De Los Santos, the first win for him of the season, as he got the start, went 6 1/3 innings. That was the young right-hander Yaniel De Los Santos, as he went 6 1/3 innings, 3 runs allowed, 5 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. The Bats were able to back him up. Maikel Franco hit his 12th home run of the season, a 3-run shot, and Odubel Herrera his 16th of the year for the Phillies. The Mets no homers in this game. In Boston, the Red Sox beat the Rangers 8-4 as they continue to beat up on the teams they should beat up on. They got a home run, no home runs in this game, but a bunch of doubles. Jackie Bradley Jr. had two doubles, as he went 2 for 4 with a couple RBIs. So did Benintendi, also went 2 for 4 with a couple RBIs as well, as they got a win from the bullpen. Barnes in the bullpen gets the win there for the Red Sox. And then home runs for the Rangers in this one were Brogdon Odor, his 6th of the year. In Atlanta, the Blue Jays beat the Braves 6-2 as Marcus Stroman gets his 2nd win of the season. He was pretty good, actually, in this one. He's really had a weird season, obviously dealing with injury and also not pitching that well. But he gets the win as he went... pitching against the Braves team, it's not the easiest task in the world, obviously. This is the first place Braves team, as I'm getting his pitching line for you guys here on from the game on Tuesday. But Stroman, he went 7 innings, 1 run allowed, 6 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. As he gets his 2nd win, like I said, the home runs. Justin Smoke, his 13th of the season for Toronto, and that was the only homer of the game. In Minnesota, the Royals beat the Twins 9-4 as they got a win from Flynn. Was he the starter in this one or the in relief? Ian Kennedy only lasted 3 innings in this game. But the home runs in this one, Mondesi, his 2nd of the year, and then Alex Gordon, his 6th of the season for the Royals. For the Twins, Brian Dozier, his 14th of the season in loss. And then in Houston, if you haven't watched the highlight, go watch it. It's a lot to explain. The A's, they were down 4-0. They scored 4 runs in the top of the 9th inning to win, to tie the game. They went to extra innings. Stephen Piscotty hit a home run in the top of the 11th inning to take the lead. And then the Astros scored 2 in the bottom of the 11th on the craziest way possible to win the game. Alex Bregman does it again as he hit a ball about 10 feet, maybe, not even, as it was in foul territory, rolled back into fair territory. Jonathan Lucroy picked it up with his bare hand, went to tag him, Bregman with his bare hand. Bregman evaded the tag in the baseline, got around to Lucroy because Lucroy dropped the ball as he reached to tag him. He was in his bare hand. That's why you put the ball in your glove. And he reached to tag him. He dropped the ball on the ground, went and picked it up, moved. The umpire was in the way too, and Bregman goes and runs down first base. He throws it to first base, hits Bregman in the back of the helmet, goes down the right field line. The runner from second scores. The game is over. The Astros win. I mean, that or a pop-up getting dropped that went about 10 feet as well a few weeks ago against the Padres. So for Piscotty, that was his I think 11th home run of the season for Piscotty. Yeah, his 11th home run of the season for Piscotty. For Bregman, he actually hit 2 home runs in this game, his 18th and 19th of the season. Justin Verlander went 6 shutout in a no-decision appearance, 6 strikeouts, only 3 hits allowed. In the south side of Chicago, the Cardinals beat up on the White Sox 14-2 as the bats came out to play at guaranteed rate field. Fowler hit his 6th of the season as he finally gets going. He had a 3-run homer. A grand slam for Dexter Fowler. Colton Wong hit a 2-run shot, his 7th of the year, as Miles Mikolas was good. 6 innings, 2 runs allowed, 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts for him. The DBacks beat the Rockies 5-3 in Colorado as they get a home run from the Rockies got a home run from Nolan Arenado, his 23rd. The D-backs got a home run from Nick Ahmed, his 12th. David Peralta, his 16th. And A.J. Pollock, his 12th as well. And then next game up here in L.A., the Angels actually beat the Mariners 9-3. As the bats came to play there for the Angels. That's really what the key for them is going to be. Pujols, his 14th of the year. Cole Calhoun, his 6th of the season, as Garrett Richards had to leave the game early with injury. And then the Dodgers and Padres played, as the Padres actually got the win on Tuesday. 4-1. Eric Lauer was excellent in this one as he went 8 2/3 innings, 1 run allowed, 4 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. That 1 run was a home run in the 9th inning. Actually, he was going for the complete game shutout and gave up a home run to Max Muncy, his 21st of the season in this one. But for the Padres, Austin Hedges hit his 4th. Will Myers hit his 8th of the year in the win. And then to Wednesday we go, as the Giants walked off on the Cubs again. So they take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs, both wins coming on walk-off hits. This one was in the bottom of the 13th inning. Buster Posey, a walk-off double off the wall, or actually it was a single, technically, but he hit it off the wall in right field to knock in Brandon Belt to get the win there. As the home runs in this game, Javier Baez for the Cubs hit his 18th of the year. That was to tie the game in the 7th inning, actually, 4-4. Chris Bryant had his 10th. Jason Hayward, his 6th. For the Giants, they actually had Chase d'Arnaud, not Travis d'Arnaud, his brother, Chase, came up from the AAA to fill in for to get some more help on the infield there as Joe Panik goes in the DL, but he hit his first home run as a Giant, his first of the year. All right. By the way, Derek Rodriguez got the win. He went 3 innings in relief in the extra innings. That's Pudge Rodriguez. He's a starter for the Giants. He went 3 innings in relief, got the win, and 3 perfect innings, actually, for him. The Rays beat their Tigers 4-2 in Tampa. They scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to take the lead there, and they would hold on to win this one as they got a nice outing from Tanner Yarborough. They got a home run from Kevin Kiermaier, his 2nd of the season, and CJ Cron, his 18th. The Tigers, McCann hit his 6th of the season. In Pittsburgh, the Pirates beat the Nationals 2-0 as they got a nice start from Trevor Williams. He gets the win there as he goes 5 shutout innings, 4 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts for him. The Pirates had a home run from Starling Marte, his 11th of the season. In Minnesota, the Twins beat the Royals 8-5 as Lance Lynn gets his 7th win of the season for the Twins. The home runs came from Brian Dozier, his 15th, Logan Morrison, his 11th. The Royals got a home run from Salvador Perez, his 12th. Mike Moustakas hit 2, his 18th and 19th of the season for the Royals in the loss. The Yankees beat the Orioles 9-0 as they should. They split the series, ended up being a 4-game series. They split it for 2-2 as the Yankees got Dylan Bundy early and often. He gave up 5 runs over 4 innings of work. The Yankees got a home run from Greg Bird, his 7th. Wade, the young second baseman, got 3 hits actually in his first home run of the year for the Yankees. That's Tyler Wade, as he came up as due to the injury to Gleyber Torres. Austin Romine hit his 6th of the season as they backed up a great pitching performance from Sonny Gray, actually. So he's still very volatile. He's good and he's bad. So he went 6 shutout innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts for Sonny Gray. The Indians avenged their loss yesterday on Tuesday with a absolute drubbing of the Reds. They win 19-4 in this game as they got 2 home runs from Jose Ramirez, his 26th and 27th. Jason Kipnis hit his 9th, and Francisco Lindor hit his 25th. Carlos Carrasco in 5 innings gave up a run on 5 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts in his win, his 10th of the season. The Mets walk off on the Phillies in the bottom of the 10th inning as they got a 3-run home run from Brandon Nimmo, his 13th of the year, as that was the only runs in the game. It was a 3-0 final, as Nimmo was the hero for the Mets in that one, as they got another walk-off homer, and they split that series as well with the Phillies. Marlins get a walk-off in the bottom of the 12th inning as well. They win 5-4 over the Brewers. They scored a run in the bottom of the 12th inning on a Starlin Castro single to win the game there. The home runs in this one came from Justin Bour, his 15th of the season. No homers in this one for the Brewers. In Boston, the Red Sox beat the Rangers. They sweep that series as they should. Chris Sale gets the win, his 10th of the season. He was pretty good in this one, as the Rangers didn't score till the 8th inning. So Chris Sale went 7 shutout innings, 6 hits, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts for him. The Red Sox got no homers in this game, actually. No homers at all in this one. The Braves beat the Blue Jays 9-5 as Mike Volchniewicz gets his 7th win of the season. Atlanta scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Blue Jays had to come back, but they scored all 5 of their runs in the top of the 7th. Actually, 2nd in the 7th. 6 runs in the 2nd for the Braves and 5 runs in the 7th for the Blue Jays. I wanted to just clarify that one. Home runs in this one, Ozzie Albies hit 2, actually, his 19th and 20th of the season for the Braves. For the Blue Jays, Justin Smoke his 14th, and Travis his 6th of the season for the Blue Jays. That was a pinch hit homer for Devin Travis, and that one is he actually, well, I don't know if it was a pinch hit homer or it was actually he was a defensive replacement, so he pinch hit and then ended up staying in the game, hit a home run later. The A's beat the Astros as they avenged their tough loss in the bottom of the 9th, or bottom of the 11th inning on Tuesday. They win 8-3 yesterday over the over the Astros, is they actually end up taking 2 out of 3 from that series. The A's got a nice start from Chris Bassett. They beat up on Lance McCullers early. They got him 3 runs in that first inning. The only home run for the Astros came from White, their first baseman, the young first baseman there for the Astros. Tyler White hit his first home run of the year for the A's. Pinder hit his 9th home run of the season for the Athletics there. That's Chad Pinder, as Chris Bassett was pretty good for the A's. He gets the win. In Chicago, the White Sox beat the Cardinals 4-0. Carlos Rodon was excellent in this one as he gets the win. He went 7 1/3 shutout innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. No homers in this game to win for the White Sox. They are now 31-61. Ouch, babe. The Rockies beat up the DBacks. The DBacks scored 20 runs last week. The Rockies almost did the same thing. They win 19-2 as Marquez gets the win for the Colorado Rockies. They got a home run from Ian Desmond, his 19th. Desmond, that was his 18th. Blackman also hit his 18th. Carlos Gonzalez hit 2 home runs, his 9th and his 10th. And then the pitcher, actually, Marquez, hit a home run as well. He actually had 2 hits in that game. That was his first of the year, obviously. I'm pretty sure his first of his career as well. In LA, the Mariners come back after getting beat on Tuesday. They beat the Angels 3-0. Marco Gonzalez was excellent in this one as he stymied the Angels lineup. 7 shutout innings, only 2 hits allowed, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Just a dominant performance there for the Mariners left-hander. The only home run in this one was from the catcher Freitas for the Mariners. The young catcher there had his first homer of the season, David Freitas for Seattle. And in the last game of the day, the Padres and the Dodgers from San Diego. The Dodgers win 4-2 as they got a nice pitching performance from Kenta Maeda. Kind of always been that same kind of thing, up and down, either good or bad. Joey Lucchesi only lasted 4 innings. Maeda went 5 2/3 innings, 1 run allowed, 4 hits, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. He gets his 6th win of the year. No homers for the Dodgers. For the Padres, got a home run from Christian Villanueva, his 18th of the season for San Diego. All right, we made it. All right, we're at the end of this segment. We're going to come back in just a moment and do some talk on the All-Star Game final vote. If you're still waiting with bated breath, you didn't go check while you're listening to the show who won the final vote, I'll tell you on the other side of the break, and then we'll also talk the AL East race and some Cubs talk as well. Stay tuned.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Baseball Podcast here on a Thursday today. A little off schedule. It's okay. We're getting to the summertime. We've got little assignments to do and here and there. But, it's time to talk to the final vote. I know I've been teasing it. You guys have probably already looked at who got it, or you got an alert on your phone yesterday when it was announced. But the winners of the final vote were the first baseman of the Milwaukee Brewers, Jesus Aguilar, who was actually very much deserving of that. I'm surprised he actually didn't get voted in, or at least picked as a reserve, as he's having a monster season up there in Milwaukee. He'll also be the number 1 seed in the home run derby as well. So go look at that. And then the American League is another deserving guy on the Mariners, Jean Segura, who actually I've watched a lot of him play. He played down in Arizona, so I've watched him play when he played the Giants. a lot. He also played. Where else did he play? I think he played for the Brewers. He played for the Brewers too. So I mean, in the National League, watched him a lot now over the American League as with the Mariners, and he's a very good player. Got some good power, great speed, great glove in the field. Can play second, short, third, doesn't matter. So I mean, great little addition there for the Mariners, and he's playing really well up there in the Pacific Northwest. Definitely deserving of the All-Star nod there to go to DC next week. So good for those two guys. I was kind of hoping we'd see a Brandon Belt. Not enough people, I guess. I mean, you got to give credit. I mean, I know the Giants really put everything out there when it came to belting the vote, when it was, or belt the vote, when it was their whole hashtag to get him voted in. There's some other guys, Matt Carpenter, Max Muncy. Honestly, he's going to be in the home run derby, but he honestly could have had a late nod to the All-Star game, as he's been on an absolute tear. He's my dark horse to win the home run derby, honestly, because he's got some crazy power. He's actually the third seed, which is not surprising knowing his power. He's actually the fastest guy in Dodgers history to get to 20 home runs just based off of at bats. He's faster than Bellinger. Was faster than Peterson those years. As I mean, he's obviously not a rookie. He's played already in the league. He was on the A's for a little bit, but no, he's figured it out down there in LA, and he's hitting some bombs, absolute bombs. I mean, he got a little bit of overcut, but he's hitting bombs. As the Dodgers always seem to find somebody to do it. I mean, whether it's Bellinger, if it's Seager who's hurt now, or it's Peterson, or it's Puig. Puig's actually kind of having a little renaissance too. But that was the All-Star game. Final vote was I think it was Aguilar, Max Muncy. I think it was like four first basemen: Muncy, Aguilar, Belt, and Carpenter all play first base. And then I can't remember who the fifth person was for the National League. But then you had in the American League, it was Andrew Benintendi and Segura and Giancarlo Stanton and a couple other guys as well. So I mean, Segura definitely deserving, and he'll be a nice addition for the American League roster next week as well. So I mean, Aguilar, honestly, I'd put him in there to see if he can just pop one out. I mean, that guy he has power, and he has power to all fields. He's hit some bombs. I mean, I know Miller Park is not the hardest place to hit a home run. It's definitely a hitter friendly park, but he hit some bombs, opposite field bombs, just upper deck Oppo Taco style. And this guy's got some massive. I mean, he's also huge. He's a big human, and he also can swing that bat pretty fast too. Get some good bat speed generated. I mean, that's why you see a lot of these guys. That's why you see guys that are smaller, like a Jose Altuve or even a Gleyber Torres, have power because they can generate bat speed with torque and whatever it is, and that's all. You don't have to be the biggest dude to hit home runs. It helps, but it's not required. I mean, you see like a Francisco Lindor. That guy's not the biggest dude. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He's more lanky, skinny, but he's got some serious quick hands and arms and be able to torque that whole. I mean, your swing is your whole body. It's from the feet up. That's how it works. So those guys definitely have it down. As far as it goes, so I mean, to get back to this non-All-Star talk, when we get back to the race talk, the Red Sox have now extended out a little bit of lead in the East, as they obviously still have a few more games to go with the Yankees head-to-head. That's what I think is going to come down to making or breaking the season, or making or breaking that race for either team. The Red Sox seemingly handled the teams they should beat a little bit better, as they just played the Rangers at home and they swept them, versus the Orioles. I know they played in Baltimore, but the Orioles, they got 2 out of 4 with the Yankees. I mean, this is probably the worst team in the league, and they were able to get split a doubleheader and then get one of the other games as well on a walk-off. So you got to give the Orioles some credit. The Red Sox are handling their business, though. I like the Red Sox lineup better. Well, I mean, their lineups are pretty much a wash, honestly, for me. I mean, JD Martinez, Mookie Betts versus I wouldn't even put Stanton in there. I probably would put like a Gleyber Torres and a combined. I mean, I would say Mookie Betts and you could say put Mookie Betts and JD Martinez on one side, and then you could balance the scale with a Didi Gregorius and an Aaron Judge and a Gleyber Torres. I mean, that's how you can even out. But that's 3 guys, and then they also have Stanton, obviously. But the Red Sox have Benintendi, and they have Mookie Betts, and they have other. I mean, they have good players. Mitch Moreland's a good player. I mean, they're going to have. I mean, I don't know what Pedroia is doing, if he even is going to play anymore. But they have players. There's players all over the place for both teams that play very well. They also have some good veterans like Eduardo Nunez on the Red Sox, or Brett Gardner on the Yankees. I mean, these guys are good veteran players that are very talented and have experience in the playoffs as well. But it's all going to come down to this division, I think. And I actually think that they're both going to lose in the playoffs, honestly. The Astros are just too good, and so are the Indians. I think Indians-Astros is not a bad ALCS. Watch both the East teams get knocked out in the first round. Because the Yankees, if they don't get their stuff together, they're not going to be able to play in the AL. They don't even know. They're going to have to go play a wild card game. Granted, it will be at home. And granted, they will have Luis Severino, probably against the Mariners. But then, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Who is next? I know the Giants have done it before. They had Bumgarner and not really anybody else after that. And were able to go on a run in 2014. But they had guys who I guess were able to step up in the playoffs, and because they're more veteran and more experienced players versus the Yankees. I mean, actually, Sonny Gray did pitch in the playoffs last year for the Yankees because he was traded before that. But Luis Severino, not overly experienced. I mean, I don't really know how I feel about Tanaka, and then CC Sabathia. He's actually one of their best pitchers right now, and he's like, 35? So, I mean, the season gets longer and longer. We're only middle of July right now. We're 2 months away from the playoffs into a real, I mean, must-win, must-perform games. I mean, I always get joked up. My uncle's a football fan, and as am I, but he's like, oh, did that loss, did that kill your season? That one loss you guys had yesterday? Or if the Giants lose, I'm down, I'm like depressed, or down, not depressed, but like, a little peeved they lost. He's like, oh, is it going to ruin your season? I'm like, no, but it could it's all about trends, and it's about, like, you got to play over and over again. Baseball is tough because if you can go on a streak of losing, you can get mired in losing. So that's kind of a different thing. But with the Yankees and the AL East, I think that they need to win their division so they can get that rotation lined up accordingly. Obviously, having Severino for Game 1 of the ALDS is a lot better than having him for Game 3 of the ALDS. But I mean, they're going to have home field advantage. Well, actually, no, they won't. That's the thing. They might have they could have the second best record in the league. They could end up with a better record than the Astros and a better record than the. Actually, well, they don't do. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They don't go by record until the World Series, right? Because it's seeded. It's all seeded based off of the performance. Like, if you won your division, they put a premium on you winning your division. So they're going to play even if they have the second best record in the league. They finished second in the East. The Red Sox have the best record in the league. They're playing the Red Sox in the ALDS, and they're starting at Game 1's at Fenway Park. Go get them. With who is going to start Game 1 of the LDS? I know it's July. I should be talking trades and blah blah blah. I did say we're going to get to trades next week when it really heats up. We're so just starting to get a little warm right now with the trade talk. We'll do that next week for sure when everything really heats up and the stove gets burning hot, because it's going to get hot. There are going to be some trades this year for sure, as there are every year. But who it's going to be, we don't know. Like I already said, the Giants have actually made Justin Marja available because their rotation's a little crowded right now. They actually got some rookies who are pitching really well out there by the Bay, and the Yankees might be interested in getting a veteran addition right-hander to their rotation. So you never know. But as far as they go with their starters, they don't really have a full five. They don't have the Astros rotation. They don't even have the Red Sox rotation. Eduardo Rodriguez has 11 wins. He's probably their second best pitcher behind Chris Sale. They have 3 lefties. That's the one thing. They have 3 lefties in that rotation that all start like normally. They're not. None of them are like spot. Yeah, Sale, Price, and Rodriguez are all left-handed. And I mean, I don't think you guys want to look at how the Yankees hit against lefties. It's not pretty. And you saw how that series went last time they played at Yankee Stadium. That's why I think the Yankees want to win. They need to win that division. They need to win the division because they don't play that well at Fenway. They don't play that well at Fenway. They don't. And I don't think it's going to happen because I think the Astros will end up having the best record in the league anyways. Or the Reds. Well, the thing is, the Red Sox do right now, actually. So, I mean, if the Red Sox end up having the best record in the league, and then obviously winning the division by any amount of games, Yankees, they have to win the wild card game first. It's not set in stone. The Giants in that game I know they were the Pirates were heavily favored in that game, but they had Bumgarner. The Yankees, they're going to be heavily favored in their game. They're going to have Severino, which is great, but the Mariners likely. It's funny that I'm already picking out the second wild card, which is supposed to be the interesting one the race that goes all the way to the end. It still could. The A's are playing really well, and you never know with the Mariners. But the American League is so top heavy. The A's are pretty much the only team that are built to actually get to there. Maybe the Angels, but probably not. They actually fell. I think the Angels actually fell behind another team in the wild card standings since I looked last, but it is what it is. And then quickly at the end of the segment here, as I've already talked too much, the Cubs. I do want to talk about the Cubs, and we'll do it in the. I can carry it over a little bit, but the Cubs, they did just drop 2 out of 3 of the Giants, which is tough, but they need to get their lineup figured. Whatever they get healthy, they can play well. They've been playing better. They can get the long ball going. Their rotation's a little better. Quintana's starting to figure it out. It looks like. Still got, obviously, Lester and Hendricks, but their back end of the rotation's got to be able to hold strong for them to keep going, obviously, keeping everybody healthy. You got Chris Bryant back from that shoulder strain, as he did hit a homer in that game yesterday in San Francisco, which is a good sign for the Cubs. So if they want to catch the Brewers, they got to keep this streak they're going right now. I mean, not on a streak, but they're on a good tear. I think they've won like 16 of the last 20 games. As they keep doing that, they could catch the Brewers. As I think they do have a better lineup than they do in Milwaukee. It's funny, the Brewers are in first place, and we haven't talked about Ryan Braun one time, which I think I'm okay with. All right, we'll come back after the break and do the games for today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, as we'll preview those games for you before we sign off for the weekend. So everybody stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Want to know the latest in soccer? Then listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. From MLS, the World Cup, and the Premier League, we've got you covered. The latest updates, the hottest matches, and news on the league's top players. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals.
Listen now.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Baseball Podcast on a special Thursday for the second week in a row. As we're going to go over the games for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and today. Also, as we have some series getting started, if we're going to have a big, long four-game series going into the All-Star break, or teams finishing up series from earlier in the week. That's kind of how Thursdays work here in the major leagues, as I'll give you the top pitching matchups for the weekend. As you know, this last weekend is kind of the final push before you get a nice long, for those who aren't going to DC, you get a nice long weekend or week of 4 days off for the All-Star break. Definitely guys going on little mini vacations, or at least chilling at home to still kind of, it's a grind. It's honestly a grind, and being able to get a few days off is very much encouraged, very much welcomed by a lot of teams, a lot of players around the league. All right. In Houston, the A's and Astros are actually going to finish up their 4-game set today and this afternoon, actually, starting momentarily from Houston. It'll be Charlie Morton against Trevor Cahill. Morton's 11-2 with a 2.83 ERA. Very nice on the season. Cahill 1-2 with a 2.77 on the year. In Colorado, it'll be Robbie Ray against Kyle Freeland. Pretty good matchup there of two good young arms. Ray is 3-1 with a 5.23 ERA. Freeland 8-6 with a 3.18 ERA on the year for the Rockies. In Baltimore, Nick Pivetta facing Jacob Gausman for the Baltimore Orioles. Pivetta is 5-7 with a 4.62 ERA on the year. Gausman 4-6 with a 4.11 on the year. In Pittsburgh, it'll be Wade Miley against Jameson Taillon, as the Brewers, Miley coming back from the DL, making his first start since May 8th when he did strain his oblique against the Indians. Will make his this was just his second game back from a groin injury, so he's had some injury problems, but will be a nice addition to that Brewers rotation for sure if he could stay healthy. Taillon for the Pirates is 5-7 with a 4.05 ERA on the year. In Cleveland, a very cool series getting started today. This will be a long weekend series for the Yankees and the Indians. This could be a ALCS preview. You never know, or maybe even an ALDS preview. Before we don't know, both these teams are going to be headed to the postseason. Surely, Luis Severino against Corey Kluber, the marquee matchup of the day for sure. As it'll be Severino, who's 14-2 with a 2.12 ERA, versus Kluber is 12-4 with a 2.49 ERA. Watch that game be like a slugfest or something, even though it should be a pitcher's duel. Another pretty good matchup in Boston, the Blue Jays visiting the Red Sox, as the J Happ will get the start for the Blue Jays against David Price. Happ is 10-5 with a 4.44 ERA. Price 9-6 with a 4.44 ERA as well. Identical ERAs there. In New York, the Nationals get a series started Nationals finish up the series or get a series started. Who are they playing? Matz and Scherzer. It doesn't matter. Matz and Scherzer are starting for those two teams. Max Scherzer going for the Nationals. He's 11-5 with a 2.33 ERA against Steven Matz, who's 4-6 with a 3.31 ERA on the year for New York. The Mets just played the Phillies, so yeah, this is a new series. I'm in my head now. The Rays play the Twins in Minnesota. It'll be Blake Snell going for the Rays. Has there been an injury to get into the All-Star game yet? This is just ridiculous. He's 12-4 with a 2.09 ERA, and he's not an All-Star yet. I hope he better get added to the team with an injury or something. I know Jed Lowry had that rectified by the injury to McGleyber Torres, so he was able to get on the team, much deserved. Blake Snell still snubbed. I mean, I was not happy with this. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So it looks like that, still hasn't been added to the team yet because of there hasn't been any injury issues, or we'll see. I'm sure he will get out of the team because of what happens on Sunday. It depends who's pitching on Sunday, but knowing that all these guys are actually pitching on Thursday, Scherzer is pitching on Thursday, Severino's pitching on Thursday. That means that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that's 4 days. The game's on Tuesday. Scherzer and Severino will be very, very, very available to start that game for the respective leagues there. Blake Snell also will be. I thought he could be look at that. Look at, he's 12-4 with a 2.09 ERA. Severino's 14-2 with a 2.12. He's a better ERA than Severino. I mean, go read. There's multiple articles about how this has ruined the All-Star game process and shown there's multiple flaws in the voting. All right, going over to the LA game, Seattle and the Mariners finish up their series. Seattle and the Los Angeles Angels finish up their series in Anaheim, as will be James Paxton against Tyler Skaggs. Paxton's 8-3 with a 3.49 ERA. Skaggs 6-5 with a 2.64 ERA on the year. And then in San Diego, it'll be Ross Stripling against Tyson Ross for the Padres. And on Friday, they get a series started. The A's and the Giants get the Bay Bridge series started in San Francisco. It'll be Edwin Jackson against Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner's 2-3 with a 3.09 ERA. Jackson 1-0 with a 2.45 ERA on the year. And then looking around here, Matt Harvey will make a start for the Reds against Carlos Martinez of the Cardinals. Martinez 6-4 with a 3.05 ERA on the year against Harvey 4-5 with a 4.80 ERA on the year for the Reds. Looking around here, we'll have the James Shields will get a start again for the White Sox. Zach Godley for the Diamondbacks against Anibal Sanchez for the Braves. Godley's 10-6 with a 4.80 ERA against Sanchez, 4-2 with a 2.72 ERA on the year. And then in New York, it'll be the Tanner Roark against Noah Syndergaard. Syndergaard's 4-1 with a 3.06. 4-1. I mean, he's had some injury issues, but then Roark 3-11 with a 4.76 ERA on the year. In Boston, it'll be Rick Porcello against Borucki for the Blue Jays. Porcello 11-3 with a 3.58 ERA on the year for the Red Sox, as he's been pitching pretty well for them. And then on Saturday, as we go over to those pitching matchups for Saturday. It'll be Jeff Samardzija for the Giants against Brett Anderson for the A's. It'll be Chris Archer for the Rays against Jose Barrios for the Twins. He's pitching pretty good. In Atlanta, it'll be Zach Greinke against Newcomb, the younger pitcher there for the Braves. Sean Newcomb, left-hander there. It'll be a good little matchup. That's a pretty good series out there in Atlanta, actually. The Freeway Series will get started in LA. It'll be the Dodgers and the Angels again. They just played each other in Anaheim last week. They play in LA at Dodger Stadium this week, and as it'll be Clayton Kershaw against a starter to be determined tomorrow. In Cleveland, it'll be CC Sabathia against Steve Clevenger for the Mark Clevenger for the Indians. He's 7-4 with a 3.34 ERA, and Sabathia is 6-4 with a 3.34 ERA. Always like that. In San Diego, it'll be the Cubs and the Padres. Kyle Hendricks against Luis Perdomo for the Padres as they get a series started out in SD in SoCal. In Miami, Aaron Nola gets a start against Trevor Richards for the Marlins. Nola is 12-2 with a 2.27 ERA on the year. He's pitching on Saturday, which means probably will be able to come in maybe out of the bullpen for the National League. I wouldn't say he's a starter, knowing that Scherzer pitches on Thursday, Thursday. That means that he's going to be able to probably be a little more available to start that game, as I'm trying to figure out who we're going to see out of the bullpen and we're going to see in these All-Star games, or in the All-Star game come Tuesday. And then Sunday, the final game of the weekend, it'll be Sean Manaea and Andrew Suarez for the Giants and the A's as they wrap up that series. Heading into the break in Toronto, in Boston, it'll be Marcus Stroman for the Blue Jays. The Red Sox have not announced a starter yet. In Cleveland, Masahiro Tanaka against Trevor Bauer. Tanaka, I want to know what his run support is, because he's 7-2 with a 4.68 ERA. That's kind of weird. His run support must be crazy, because you have Trevor Bauer, who's 8-6. He has 4 more losses and just 1 more win with a 2.30 ERA on the year. I mean, you saw what happened in the game on yesterday? Actually, I think when the Reds blew up his start after he pitched excellent, and the bullpen kind of didn't really help him out at all. In Atlanta, it'll be Patrick Corbin against Julio Teheran. There'll be a good little start there in Atlanta as they finish up that series. In St. Louis, it'll be Anthony DeSclafani, who had an excellent start his last time out. He'll face Miles Mikolas, who's an all-star. In San Diego, John Lester, also an all-star, will face Eric Lauer, who had a great start his last time out against the Dodgers. He's pitching pretty good. And then a couple of different games have not announced starters yet. The Rangers and the Orioles have not announced starters for their game on Sunday. Neither have the Rays and the Twins. And then the Angels have not announced their starter against the Dodgers. Rich Hill will go for the Dodgers. In Colorado, the Rockies have not announced a starter yet against the Mariners. Chris Leak will go for the Mariners on Sunday's game. And then same kind of thing in Houston. They have not started yet against the Tigers. Francisco Liriano will face somebody for the Astros. And then for the Royals, they have not started yet against the White Sox. It'll be Lucas Giolito for the White Sox on Sunday. All right. All-Star break coming up. We'll be back on Monday to talk about the games that went over the weekend, and then also preview the Home Run Derby, which will be on Monday. And then also the All-Star game coming on Tuesday. It'll be a fun one on Wednesday, because I won't really have any games to go over. We'll have the All-Star game basically to talk about for about an hour, and then obviously we can start getting into our trade talk next week, as well as we're going to be coming down the stretch. I mean, it's July 15th. You got 16 days. Oh, actually, no. It's July 12th. Sunday's July 15th. You got about 2 weeks to figure it out. I mean, 2.5 weeks to figure out who's going where, if what team is going to make a move, who are the buyers, who are the sellers from around the league, and we'll be figuring it out, and I'll be right here with you to give you my thoughts and takes, as well as giving you updates if your phones don't have them already. That's the one thing. Like, you guys come listen to my show, I was like, I feel like you might have the alerts already for this for a lot of these things, like the final vote thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna just tease it the whole show and then give it to you a third segment when they already know who it is, or they can go look it up very easily. All right, that will wrap up for the show today, as we'll cut it off here. We'll come back on Monday, of course, and bring you the scores and highlights from the games over the weekend. and then we'll get into that talk, like I said, on the All-Star game. Also, the Home Run Derby, I actually I'll give you the Home Run Derby guys right now. So the bracket for the Home Run Derby right now, it is going to be, like I said, Jesus Aguilar actually is the number one seed for the Home Run Derby, as it'll be him. He'll face Rhys Hoskins in the first round head-to-head. The 4 and 5 matchup on that side of the bracket will be Alex Bregman and Kyle Schwarber. So the winners of those two will face each other. And then on the right side of the bracket, the 2 versus the 7. Bryce Harper is your 2 seed against Freddie Freeman, your 7 seed. And then we'll face the winner of the matchup between the 3 and the 6 seed. Max Muncy's the 3 seed. Javier Baez, the 6 seed. So that'll be a pretty cool little thing. You only got one American Leaguer in there. All National League players except for one American League player. That's Alex Bregman. Harper's a National, Freeman's a Brave. You got 2 Cubs in there, a Dodger, a Philly, and a Brewer. So you have a bunch of different guys from a bunch of different teams, obviously, but only one American League guy. I remember when it used to be 4 American League guys and 4 National League guys. Now that kind of just doesn't matter. Whoever wants to do it can do it. Bryce Harper's doing it because he said he would do it if he got voted in. So he's in. I like Aguilar. He's got some serious power. Obviously, don't sleep on Baez or Max Muncy. I think the winner of that Max Muncy-Baez matchup right there might give Bryce Harper, if he can get by that side of the bracket. The right side of the bracket is pretty interesting. That Max Muncy-Baez matchup is going to be really tasty, and then hopefully we'll see if Harper can get by Freddie Freeman, and then that we'll see maybe a Baez versus Harper second round matchup. That'd be really cool. I like this head to head format. It's pretty fun, as they do that. They've been doing that I think the last year or 2. All right, we'll be back on Monday. Everybody have a good weekend. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.